The last thing Kale remembered was the groan of ancient timbers, 5 centuries of metallurgy, crashing down upon him. Then darkness. Then nothing. A silence so profound it swallowed the entire world. When his eyes opened again, there was no library, only torchlight on wet stone and the taste of blood.
On your feet, you worthless sack of bones. The whip will find you if you don't move.
Where am I? This isn't a hospital. The last thing I remember. The book's falling.
Before he could orient himself, rough hands yanked him upright and shoved a pickaxe into his grip, and then he saw the furnace. A misshapen clay belly coughing black smoke. His engineer's mind screamed at the inefficiency.
The air ratio is catastrophic. That's why the copper slag is so impure. I could fix that in an afternoon.
Stop gawking and start swinging. Slave, we don't feed idle mouths down here.
I died buried under knowledge. But if this world has furnace flaws to exploit, maybe I died for a reason.
The days blurred into a single rhythm of sweat and bruises. Kale swung the pickaxe, but his mind never stopped calculating.
Guard rotation shifts every 2 hours. The overseer checks the east tunnel at sunset. Patterns are already emerging.
In the waste slag, he spotted something no one else recognized. Dark granules of magnetite sand. The raw material for something far sharper than copper.
Magnetite. If I can reach high enough temperatures, I can reduce it to wrought iron, then crucible steel.
Each night, while the guards drank, Kale slipped into abandoned side tunnels, collecting handfuls of the precious black sand.
A crucible. I need something that can withstand extreme heat. Smashed pottery will have to do.
He shaped a small furnace from clay and rubble, concealing it behind a false wall of loose stones.
The bellows are the hardest part. I'll have to use my own breath to stoke the coals until I can fashion something better.
Footsteps echoed in the tunnel. A guard's torchlight swept past the hidden alcove, missing the crouching figure by inches.
Too close, but the furnace is ready. Tomorrow, I'll test it. If I can reach 1600 degrees, everything changes.
The next rest shift, Kale fed charcoal to his hidden furnace until the crucible inside glowed white.
The magnetite is reducing. Now, pour before the slag contaminates the steel.
He tipped the crucible, a stream of liquid fire arcing into the mold. Sparks bit his arms, but he didn't flinch. When the glow faded to dull red, he cracked the mold. A rough ingot, dark and dense, lay in his palm.
Heavy. No pits, no bubbles. A full melt. This is real steel.
He tapped it with a stone. The ingot sang, a clear, high ring that echoed in the silence.
The first crucible steel ever cast in this world, and I forged it in secret.
But as he hid the ingot behind the false wall, the weight of his chains returned.
One ingot won't free me. I need hands. Hands that can learn, that can swing a hammer.
In the flickering dark, Kale began to plan. Not just escape, but something far more dangerous. He chose his recruits carefully. Those whose eyes still held a spark of defiance, not yet crushed by the whip.
You've lost nothing by listening. If you want more than a slow death in the dark, meet me tonight.
In the hidden alcove, he revealed the steel ingot, watching their faces shift from disbelief to burning hope.
Is that iron? No, it's something harder. What have you done?
This is steel, stronger than anything this world has seen, and I can teach you to make it.
Over weeks, the alcove became a secret classroom. The clang of hammer on anvil, the hiss of quenching steel.
The metal sings when it's right. I've never felt anything like this.
They forged 30 leaf-bladed short swords, each one a promise of violence, and hid them in a false rockfall.
The guards are searching the old tunnels. They know something's missing.
The swords are ready. Now we only need a spark.
The taskmaster's whip spoke before any word did, cracking across a slave's back for a stolen crust of bread.
Let this be a lesson. Any hint of treachery will be met with 100 lashes.
They're looking for an excuse to tear this place apart. Our cash won't stay safe forever.
Kale pressed a lump of copper ore into a guard's palm, buying a sliver of truth.
Varen will be inspecting the lower works in 3 nights. The garrison will be light. We move in 3 nights, before Varen returns and doubles the watch.
3 nights. That's not enough time to prepare everyone.
It will have to be. We're dead if we wait any longer.
Then it's settled. Gather the swords at the second shift change. No torches, no noise. 3 nights to change the world. Or die trying.
Kale knew the mountain's scars. A single hammer strike in the right place would collapse the tunnel behind the guard post.
When the rock falls, it will seal the east passage for hours. No reinforcements.
And if you miss the fault line, we'll be trapped between them and the rock.
I've mapped every crack. The mountain will obey.
The night arrived, starless and thick. The slaves shed their chains in the silence before the storm. At the rockfall cache, they pulled the swords from their stone womb. Steel caught the faint torchlight.
Remember, their bronze will shatter against this. Trust the steel.
I've been sharpening mine in my dreams. It's thirsty.
For every lash, a blade. For every death, a reckoning.
Kale raised his sword, and the silent army surged through the darkness like a river of molten vengeance. The first guard fell without a sound, his bronze sword snapping like dead wood against Lyra's steel. One by one, sentries were dragged into the shadows, their cries swallowed by the ancient rock. They found the slave pens guarded only by a lone drunk. Taro's sword bit deep, and the lock shattered.
You are free. Take up their weapons, or take a sword from the cache. Tonight we bleed them.
The lower forges are ours. Now to the main gate before the alarm spreads.
But a torch clattered in the upper gallery. Goran's roar echoed down the shaft.
Treachery. To arms. Seal the gates and crush them.
The clang of alarm bells replaced silence. Heavy footsteps converged from every tunnel.
No retreat. Steel to the front, bronze behind. We hold this choke point.
The lower levels fell into chaos. Steel ringing, bronze shattering, and the first taste of freedom turning to blood. The Overseer's reinforcements crashed into their line like a bronze wave, but the steel swords carved through shields and bone.
They outnumber us 4 to 1. But this corridor is a natural choke point. Their numbers count for nothing.
Your bronze is brittle. Look, it shatters.
Taro faltered as a guard spear lunged for his throat. Kale's blade intercepted it mid-strike, shattering the bronze tip.
Stay sharp, Taro. Focus on the guard's feet. They telegraph their strikes.
Darien took a sword to the shoulder, but his steel never stopped swinging, cutting down 2 more before they could retreat.
More oil on the torches. Burn them out of that hole.
The slaves pressed forward over a barricade of fallen guards, their steel edges notched but unbroken.
The gate is ahead, but there must be 20 guards with those heavy shields.
20 guards with locked shields. This funnel will be a slaughterhouse, unless I find another way. Varen, you hide behind your men. Face me in single combat. If you win, they'll surrender.
A slave dares challenge me? I'll mount your skull on the gate.
The shield wall parted, creating a ring of torchlight. 2 figures stepped forward, steel versus bronze, knowledge versus brutality.
His axe is heavy. 3 feints and his left side will open, just like the ancient diagrams.
Varen lunged, but Kale was already moving. A sidestep, a parry, and a steel edge bit into bronze greaves.
What sorcery is this? My bronze, it cracked like clay.
Kale gave no answer. His blade wove a pattern of death, each strike a lesson in Metallurgy's grim final exam. Varen fell, his chest laid open. The great silence of disbelief hung over the shield wall.
I am Kale. Your overseer is dead. Break the gate or break against me.
The slaves cheered, and the iron-bound gate splintered under a tide of desperate strength. Outside, the stars awaited. The first dawn of freedom found them in a clearing of ancient pines, breath misting in the chill air.
A scout just came back. There's a full legion marching from the capital, at least 2,000 men.
2,000. They're sending a message to every other slave in the Empire.
We can melt into the high passes. They'll never find us.
They'll find someone. They'll burn villages until we're handed over. Running only delays the reckoning.
We didn't shatter our chains just to die running. We stand, and we make them bleed for every inch.
So they built a forge from river stones and clay, the fire fed by vengeance and charcoal. Kale hammered until his arms screamed, turning captured bronze and scrap iron into fresh blades.
There's a pass not far from here. Cliffs on both sides. A few of us could hold it against an army.
A funnel of death. Perfect. Let them choke on their own arrogance.
A horseman approached under a white flag, dragging a bruised and bound Darien by a rope. The terms were brutal. Give up Kale, or every freed slave dies by nightfall.
They're using Darien to break us. If I give myself up, does that save anyone?
Kale, you can't. They'll kill him anyway. Don't give them what they want.
Darien, battered but unbowed, lifted his head and met Kale's gaze across the clearing.
Don't you dare surrender. Show them what steel can do.
The emissary's sword fell. Darien crumpled, and Lyra's scream tore through the forest. For a heartbeat, the world stopped. Then Kale's voice cut through the silence like a blade.
You wanted a monster? Then you'll have a storm of steel. We will carve our freedom into their bones.
The slaves raised their swords, grief transforming into a single, unbreakable weapon in the glowing forge. Kale hammered out wicked shapes, caltrops with curved barbs, arrowheads that whistled with deadly intent.
These will litter the pass. Every step they take will be on a blade.
I've positioned 24 archers in the cliffs. They have steel-tipped arrows and orders to aim for officers.
Perfect. And the caltrops will shred the first ranks. By the time they reach our line, they'll be limping.
What if they send cavalry? Horses won't care about caltrops.
The pass is too narrow for a horse to charge effectively, and these arrowheads will kill a mount just as easily.
All night they worked, covering the pass with sharpened stakes and concealed pits. The mountain became their weapon. As dawn broke, the earth began to shake. A low thunder that grew into the beat of 1,000 bronze-shod feet.
Look, the Legion. They're marching without fear, shields locked.
The Steel Brotherhood raised their swords, and the mountain waited for the blood to come. The first rank of the Legion stepped onto the hidden caltrops, their screams tearing the morning air as blood painted the rocks.
Archers, loose. Aim for the centurions.
From the cliffs, steel-tipped arrows rained down, punching through bronze helmets and felling officers in droves.
Their formation is crumbling now. While they're reeling,
The second charge blundered into a wall of sharpened stakes, men and shields skewered in a tangle of ruin.
Forward, you cowards, crush these vermin.
The Legion cracked against the steel line like a wave on stone, bronze swords shattering against unyielding metal. Kale fought with a cold fury, each strike a lesson in death, carving a crimson swath through the Empire's elite.
for Darien. Show them the price of tyranny.
The Legion shuddered and fell back, but through the dust, fresh shields gleamed. The reserves were coming. Commander Cassian led the elite reserve, a wedge of gleaming bronze crashing into the exhausted slaves.
I'll take the rebel leader. His head will adorn my standard.
Kale stepped forward to meet him, his steel blade eager for one more duel.
A spear has reach. I need to close the distance, or I'll be skewered.
The two met in a shriek of metal, Kale parrying the spear thrust, sparks raining down.
You fight well for a worm, but worms still get crushed.
Fatigue betrayed Kale. A feint drew his guard wide, and Cassian's spear punched through his side. Kale crumpled. Lyra's cry split the din as she caught him before he hit the bloody earth.
No? Stay with me, Kale. Don't you dare close your eyes.
The steel line wavered. Despair rippled through the slaves as their leader fell. Lyra stepped forward, her voice cutting through the chaos like a blade into a shield.
Kale taught us that steel is not just a metal. It is our will, our future. Show them what free people do.
The wavering line hardened. Eyes that had been dull with despair now glittered with a cold, steel-bright fury.
We are the fire that forged these blades. Now let them feel the heat.
She plunged into the enemy line, her steel hewing a path through bronze shields and brittle resolve. Farther back, behind the blood-soaked rocks, Kale drifted in the quiet dark between worlds. He saw the library again, but this time the books were open, pages fluttering with equations and ancient forging secrets.
The knowledge I brought, it was never just for survival. It's a bridge to a new age.
The tide turned. The Empire's elite, bled and broken, gave ground before the unrelenting steel storm. But Kale lay motionless, his breath a shallow whisper, his fate still balanced on a blade's edge. Kale's eyes snapped open. The fire of revelation burned away the fog of agony, leaving only cold purpose. He clawed his way up the broken spear shaft, his wound tearing fresh with every inch, but his will was a forge unquenched.
Kale, stay down. You are torn open. Let us finish this.
The quicklime. South Cliff. Water on the lime. Now, it's our last card.
Taro sprinted up the scree, overturning water skins. White steam erupted as quicklime met water, sizzling like a vengeful geyser. The cliff groaned and fractured. A cascade of rock thundered down, burying the Legion's reinforcements in a tomb of dust and screams. The Imperial line collapsed. Soldiers threw down their shields, scrambling over the dead as Cassian's banner wavered and fled. Kale watched from his knees, blood pooling beneath him, a ghost of a smile on his pale lips.
Darien, we did it. The Empire is broken.
Then the smile faded, and he crumpled into the dust, the world narrowing to a single, faint heartbeat. Commander Cassian spurred his horse through the rout, his plumed helmet gone and his red cape torn.
Retreat, back to the capital. This pass is cursed.
A ragged cheer went up from the Steel Brotherhood as the last of the Imperial banners disappeared over the ridge. But the joy died in Lyra's throat when she saw the still figure crumpled in the dust.
Kale, someone help me. Taro, grab his legs.
He's still breathing, but the bleeding won't stop.
They carried him from the field, past the broken shields and the bodies of the fallen, both friend and foe. The cost of freedom lay heavy on the blood-washed stones, but the Empire's iron grip had been shattered forever. Kale lay in the healer's tent, his chest barely rising, his skin as pale as the moon. The battle was won, but the war for Kale's life had only just begun. 3 days. Kale burned on the blade's edge, his body a battlefield between infection and will.
The ingot. Hear it ring? It sings of a world without chains.
Fight, Kale. Don't you leave me to build this future alone.
On the 4th day, the fever shattered like a broken chain. The healer said the worst had passed.
Alive. Still alive. By the bones of the mountain, I live.
You stubborn fool. I should have known not even a spear could stop you.
Give me a few more days. Then I'll be back at the forge.
Outside the tent, the sound of hammers had already begun, the first forges of a free people roaring to life. Kale listened to the ring of steel on anvil and smiled. The sound of a future he had forged with his own hands. Beyond the tent flap, log cabins were rising. The Steel Brotherhood was no longer just an army. It was a nation. Months swept past like a river, and Kale's wound healed into a tight, white scar that pulled when he worked the bellows. He walked among the clang and fire, a quiet leader whose eyes missed nothing, whose very presence was a beacon.
The northern mines emptied themselves yesterday. 100 new souls arrived, carrying nothing but hope.
Hope is the first proper weapon we've given them. The steel comes second.
Taro, no longer a frightened boy, pulled a glowing blade from the coals and smiled. The Steel Brotherhood had made him a man. Their legend spread like wildfire through the Empire's underbelly, whispered in slave pens from the capital to the coast. They came by the dozens, then the hundreds, freed by the promise of a new world where steel meant freedom.
We're running out of anvils, Kale. We'll need to build a second foundry.
Then build it. And a third. Let the ring of our hammers be heard across the mountains.
And so it was that the man who died in a library built a kingdom of steel, one ingot at a time. One dawn, Kale left the settlement's bustle and walked the old slave trail back to the mountain's wound.
This place was my grave. Now it's just a scar on the earth.
He stepped inside, his footsteps echoing in the hollow silence where once the whip had cracked. He found the hidden alcove, his secret forge still faintly stained with ancient soot.
Here, in the belly of the beast, I planted the seed of a new world.
He pried loose the stone and pulled out the first steel ingot, dark and heavy as the day it was born.
It still rings, the first note of a revolution.
He cradled it like a relic, this lump of metal that had shattered an empire's chains.
I came here a dead man, and I leave as a free one. The circle closes.
With the first ingot in his arms, Kale walked back toward the sunset, never once looking back. Kale placed the first steel ingot on the central anvil, where every eye could witness the seed of their freedom.
This ingot was born in darkness, under the whip. Today, every hammer strike is a bell that rings for freedom.
The apprentices listened, their eyes reflecting the fire. Some had never known a day without chains.
Knowledge is the truest steel. Teach it freely, and no empire can ever enslave you again.
The settlement pulsed with life. Forges roared in rhythm, hammers sang, and laughter echoed between the cabins. Children chased each other with wooden swords, their play a testament to a world without fear. Taro tempered a new blade, his movements sure and precise. The boy had become a master of the craft. Lyra stood on the watchtower, the wind in her braided hair, overlooking the free land they had bled to create. Kale watched them all, his scar a memory of pain, his heart full with the weight of a promise kept. In the heart of a bronze empire, a seed of steel had taken root, and it would never stop growing. The first light of dawn painted the hilltop gold, where an anvil stood alone with a single dark ingot.
From a library's ruin to a world reborn, every hammer blow was a heartbeat of defiance.
He reached out and touched the cool metal, feeling the silent music of a revolution.
This is where it ends, and where it begins.
He smiled, a quiet, unburdened thing, the kind that only comes after a long war is finally won.
I was sold into darkness, but I forged a sun.
Then he turned, leaving the ingot on the anvil as a sentinel, and walked toward the sunrise. Below, the settlement stirred to life, the ring of hammers a distant chorus of freedom. The image slowly faded, the anvil and ingots standing eternal against the golden sky. I was sold into a Bronze Age mine, but used modern metallurgy to forge an army of steel.